Hello, people. There's a car. Oh, I almost killed the lady in the car. Hello, lady. So I'm reparking the car. I just drove for about 5 hours. A trip that should have taken 2.5 hours. So yeah, but I had a chance for 5 hours to listen to Linkin Park and to have a billion thoughts, and I don't know, because I didn't write them down, if I can actually get them all out. But I want to share some, someone's pointing. I want to share some, I gotta go over here, thoughts with you about that band. Oh, I can go over here. Something about Dangerous Cliff Edge, which, by the way, Chester Bennington, in the new album, the first song, he says, I'm fighting, chasing my demons, I'm hanging off the edge. So we're right there, if you could show the cliff edge thing. And thank you very much. So let's talk about Chester Bennington killing himself. And not just that, but actually what Linkin Park meant to me, or means to me. I don't know, are we talking about Linkin Park in the present tense or in the past tense? Let's say past tense, because without him it's not really that band, it's a different band. But they've always been a different band than they were before, so maybe it's, I don't know. So anyway, where was I gonna go? Many people died. What's that guy from Soundgarden? Can never remember the name. Chris Cornell, thank you, Mr. Cameraman. I fully understood Chris Cornell's contribution to the music world, and that he meant an awful lot to you guys and to many people. But to me, he didn't. I had great respect for what he did, but Soundgarden wasn't my thing. Now, I have to collect my thoughts. There's 5 hours of thoughts that I'm trying to get out. So, and while we do this, let me check my level and make sure that it's on hold, because that makes sense. Hold. So, I got into Linkin Park when I did the second Frameshift album, because I wanted something aggressive but different, and I wanted to see what's happening in the music industry right now. So I bought, I'm gonna say Meteora. So I bought that, and that was different. That was a mix of things that you don't really have. And that's what I wanted for that Frameshift album. So for me, it was studying a different band. And there's light. So I loved that it was undefinable. Yeah, you could call it crossover, maybe. I don't know. There was hip hop and there was, let's call it metal, but there were different kind of beats, and they were open to experiment, but with a background in rock and metal. And Hybrid Theory, same thing. Okay, so people thought we know what Linkin Park is. But then they do Minutes to Midnight. Okay? Don't get a seizure because of the lights. So then they did Minutes to Midnight and had pop hits on the radio, which the fans hated. Well, why can't a band all of a sudden write stuff that's on the radio? And they took a chance to, this is emotional for me, I'm sorry. They took a chance to do something they wanted to do, no matter the consequences. So if the fans don't like it, okay, but we want to grow as musicians. And I love this. Growing as a musician is what we all should do. Who needs the 15 millionth exactly the same metal album from the same band, just with different song names? No one needs that. So they took a chance and they went for it. And they had pop songs, but also their own thing. And there was like world music and clapping. I'm an arranger. I love what they've done there. So where are we going? We're going this way. So, oh, this is nice and cool in here. So they took a chance, and the other thing that, then the next album, 1,000 Suns. Holy crap. You're gonna hate me. There's Dark Side of the Moon, which is a masterpiece. And for me, 1,000 Suns by Linkin Park is exactly in that vein. It is one long song. It is, none of them are singles. You have to experience this as one work of art. And they did this, get this in your head. They did this after they just had an album that had big commercial success with 5 or 6 different singles. But instead of going and saying, we want that again, we want to have again radio playing all this, they do an album that completely goes against the radio, that completely goes against singles, that goes against what their fans might want. So with every consecutive album, they went a different route. And this is what I want to talk about. They went with the music. They went where the music took them, not where the record label took them, not where the fans wanted to, I'm getting signals where to go, not where the fans wanted them to go. No, 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 no. They went where, and this is what blows my mind, as a band, they wanted to go. I don't know how many people are in the band. I have no idea. Is it 6? Is it 7? I don't give a flying rat's ass. We're going to get to me not giving a flying rat's ass about the band. But they made decisions as a group, and they all, every single freaking one of them in the group, stood back and said, the music comes first. So the drummer doesn't go in the room with an ego saying, I need to play my double blast and it needs to be real drums. No. If only a stupid electric hi-hat did the job, fine. If it's a loop, fine. Whatever worked, fine. Is there guitar in the song? No, maybe not. Maybe there is. Is there piano? Do they have the pianist? Who cares? The whole band created music where every decision was purely based on let's create a great song. Whether the guitar player gets to play his guitar or not, or the bass player gets to play his bass, or it's a synth-based, or whatever, they don't care. Linkin Park never cared about this. It was never about the egos. It was about creating great pieces of music that worked musically. What's in here? Guten Tag. So, that's what I think makes them special to me, because it's always about the music. If they want to take one of these things and create a song with it, and then take one of these and plug it in, and that's the song, then that works. And it doesn't matter whether it makes the metal fans happy or not. That's not the point. It's always about creating what the music and the song wants. And let's talk about the songs. I'm going to sit down here and talk about the songs. What they essentially did was write super, super simple little songs. Some of them on Little Things. I think the album's called Little Things. They're folk songs. If you strip away all the electronic production, what you have is kind of Irish folk. Kind of that kind of feeling. It's stuff you could easily play with an acoustic guitar in a pub, and no one would ever question it, whether it's an old song or not. The songs are super simple. And then they go and say, now what can we do to frame this very simple piece of music? And you could go and do what they've done before. You could go and do this big super metal with an amazing wall of sound guitars, but you know what? They say, we've done this already. So in terms of the production, the arranging, the vocal counterpoint that's happening, the bass line that might be a bass or a synth or a backwards piano, I am always blown away with the new stuff they come up to frame these little tunes and make them amazing. Now, what was, I'm sorry, there are a million things I want to get out of my head. So, okay, these little tunes and the vocals. I got Little Things, it's on iTunes as all the songs instrumentally and all the songs, only the vocals. And if you only listen to the vocal tracks, they work by themselves. There's no harmony, there's no nothing, just Chester Bennington singing. And the songs work with an isolated vocal track, and it's beautiful. Now, I have the highest respect for a band that can create very simple music and then frame it the way they want it. Now, are the fans happy that it's more electronic? Is the metal guy happy that there's hip-hop in it? They don't care. And how can you not respect a band that doesn't care about the music industry and does what makes them happy creatively, and lets they live out what they imagine their music could be, uninhibited by market research, label pressure, or fan pressure. And fans saying this album's crap and blaming them for not repeating the album before. That's asinine. That is just fucking ridiculous. And it might have contributed to Chester Bennington's demise in a way, maybe. Maybe he wasn't happy about not being able to do whatever he wanted to do with the band. We're gonna go this way. So, what else did I want to hit on? Again, in terms of production and arranging, I think they probably don't know exactly what they're doing. I don't think there's a lot of conscious, arranging and production knowledge. I think everything comes from a very naive point of view, but they don't know if they push this. Yeah, well, they probably know what this button does. I don't know what this button does, but anyway, I don't know. So, what is this? This looks like a chair in some kind of sexy torture chamber. I want it. So, let's talk about fans and fan pressure. On the one hand, we want our artists to be creative, write about what moves them, and be all spontaneous and true, If my dog dies, you want me to write about this because that is true. On the other hand, you want me to regurgitate the same crap I've done before. How does that make sense? On the one hand, you don't want me to take any risks and deliver you the same crap, maybe not you, but I'm talking about you, not you. You're probably cool because you're watching my channel. So, on the one hand, we want our artists to give us the same stuff while we started loving them. On the other hand, we want them to be true and honest and write about what moves them. On the one hand, we don't want them to take chances because it might end up to be an album we don't like. On the other hand, we bitch about created artists like boy bands with songwriters and producers. Well, you can't have it both. Sometimes a band we like takes a chance and what comes out is crap. But you know what? It's their crap. Let them have their crap. Maybe the album didn't work for you, but it meant something to them. It was important to them in where they were in their life at this point in time. So let them have this. Because otherwise, you have the producer and the big-titted blondie and the band that got hired, and they do an album full of hits at 2 minutes and 90 seconds. Now there you have an album that is all hits and everything you want. Yeah, but we don't want that either. So either you let people have their emotion and let the music take them where the music takes them, which Linkin Park always has done. Maybe not for the fans, but for themselves. Or on the other hand, you have these acts that have been manufactured and you hate that. So I loved when the first Avril Lavigne album was all about her being a teenager and skater boy and all that stuff. And later it wasn't about stuff anymore that she cared about because it was topics that she was told to write about. John Mayer, when he broke up with Jennifer Aniston, Battle Studies. Now that's an album that's all about heartbreak. And I buy that. I buy it from him. I buy that it was honest, and we want that. Now Linkin Park, on the way here, I didn't know there was a new album that came out earlier this year. And I'm a huge Linkin Park fan. And I'm going to explain this to you in a sec. Linkin Park did this new album. And everyone's saying, well, what happened to Chester Bennington? I don't know anything other than that he killed himself. And possibly because he was sad. How can someone not listen to this new album and not get that within the first 5 sentences? I don't understand. Of course, hindsight. Hindsight's 2020. Now knowing that he killed himself, listening to the lyrics in that album, it's all clear. Maybe it wasn't clear to everyone. It starts with, demons, I'm hanging off a cliff. There are songs where he pretty much says there's a family and there's one empty chair. There's songs saying, probably talking to his kids, saying, I hope you will understand at some point. Every song is pretty much a suicide note in hindsight. Okay. Now, I read an article yesterday where someone said, we're sorry because we as the press, we gave Linkin Park a lot of shit about the new album, and the fans gave them shit, and they were almost booed off stage because it's a very poppy album. It's pop music, but it's brilliant pop music. It is amazing, and it is Linkin Park. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry, a billion things. I'm jumping from A to B. I'm almost done. So, I'm gonna move again because I don't want to be in here. So, wait, where was I gonna go? Not room-wise. Where was I gonna go? We're gonna go this way. But what did I just say? What did I just say? I'll get it. Give me a second. I'm gonna stand here and think. Yeah, they got shit. Exactly, they got shit from the fans. My train of thought was gone. I had it. Oh, yes, thank you. Now I got it. Thank you. Mr. Cameraman knows his shit. So what I really appreciate, oh, no, let me put it this way. I've talked to a lot of bands. I had a lot of bands in the studio, and every band thinks that their style cannot be defined. What kind of music do you do? You can't really put a label on it. Well, now he's filming the wall. You can always put a label on music. It's some kind of rock, it's some kind of pop, it's some kind of whatever. Okay, it's pretty damn easy to put a label on music. So most bands that I've worked with, they're gonna tell you it's unique, and it's not. Linkin Park is unique. It's not even an amalgam of styles. It is in many ways undefinable, and to me, it is pure music, because I can't even tell whether it's a guitar or not, or is that a bass, is that not a bass, is that drums now or not, I don't care. I can't even tell what the individual instruments are, and I'm a freaking arranger, okay? I mean, I studied this shit, and with Linkin Park, I don't care. Oh, Rob Chapman's gonna be here, that's cool. I know him, and I want his hair. So, with Linkin Park, I truly believe that their style is their style. And whether they take it into a poppy thing or make it heavy again or raw or whatever they do, I truly believe that they're one of the bands that are undefinable and only definable as Linkin Park within a certain genre. But you can always tell that it's them because the songwriting is so brilliant, so beautiful, the harmonies is uplifting. Oh, that's the other thing. Okay, two more things. I'm gonna move through guitars here. So, I was driving here and I was listening to this new album, okay? And I was actually, I'm not afraid to say this, I was crying in the car. I had tears because I heard him say these things. I heard him say that, I heard him pretty much say goodbye to everyone. I heard him say that he doesn't know how to take it all anymore. How could no one pick up on this shit? I don't get it. Again, hindsight's 20/20, I get that. But on the one hand, oh, there's a chair, I like sitting. So on the one hand, I really it moved me in a very sad way. But Linkin Park has a lot of uplifting things, very, very uplifting music. And then I went to the next album and the next album, and I haven't done this in a long, long time. I started screaming along and singing and just having a blast with the music. And then tears of joy ran down my cheek because I was like, this music is moving me in a very profound way. And thank you, Linkin Park, for this. So, one more thing, all about the music, which is what this video is called. When I said I don't know how many people they are, I don't know. The fact that I know that Chester Bennington is their vocalist, when I heard Chester Bennington's dead, it took me a little bit to get who that is. And I love Linkin Park. I try to stay away from bands. I try to gravitate towards music. And that means I'm not liking their Facebook page. I don't watch a video. I never wanted to see a Linkin Park video. I never wanted to see a live video. I never wanted to even know who's in the band. There's some Asian dude in there, I know that. I don't even remember his name. I think he's like the second guy who did everything. I don't know. I don't know any of the guys because the music moved me. I don't want to know anything about anyone in that band that could ever distract me from the beauty of their music. I've done albums with people where they defined my teenage years. Sebastian Bach. What? I had something in my throat. And music that made me jump up and down in my bed and scream really loud. And then I did an album with someone from Canada, and long hair, this stupid. And you know, let me just put it this way: my youth had gone wild at some point, and then I did an album, and now I can't freaking listen to the music anymore. I hate listening to it because it reminds me of the bad time I had. So I don't want anything in the world to take Linkin Park's music away from me. So I don't want to know anything about anyone in the band. I don't want a poster on my wall. I don't want to join the fan club, and I don't even want to see him live. I don't want anything that distracts from the music because the music to me is pure. For me, the music is all I need from this band. And in many ways, that's how I like to keep it. I don't want to meet any more of my heroes. I love Steve Vai, I love Satriani. I don't want to freaking meet them. I want to enjoy their music apart from the person. You know, like the more you know about an artist, the more the music and what you know about him is connected, and that can be good. But if the music is strong enough, the music alone is all that you need. You don't need to know that they're giving to charity or you don't need to know anything. What if I find out that one of those guys is a stupid kiddie fiddler? You know, I mean, I don't know, how do AC/DC fans now see it knowing that one of the guys in the band, you know, try to have someone killed? I think that's what happened or whatever. I mean, does that not make it a little bit less fun to support the music from a band that you gave money to and all this? I don't know. I wish I didn't know these things because that makes the music pure. And with Linkin Park, I deliberately always didn't care about the band. I love what the band can do. I love that they go with 6 or 7 people in a room and can create something that doesn't have a single fucking ego in there. The drummer stands back and says, "That loop's good, fine." The guitar player has maybe a little pad of guitar that gets reversed and mangled through synthesizers and vocoders. He doesn't care. He doesn't care that he's not showing off. No one does. It's all about the music. And if there was ever a band where it was all about the music, for me, that's them. So I never wanted to know anything about it. And think about it. Nirvana came, okay? And I fucking hated Nirvana because I loved my hair metal in the early 80s, early 90s. And these stupid assholes came, I'm sorry, and they wanted to, you know, and the guitar doesn't have to be in tune. And look at my offset stupid ass guitar, and it's all grunge. I didn't listen to the music. I didn't consciously get Nirvana in my head because all that stuff that they were rebelling against, the other stuff that was happening, all that stuff was distracting. They didn't have the hair, they didn't have the spandex. I never gave Nirvana a chance because of that stuff. John Bon Jovi cut his hair when Keep the Faith came out. And I didn't like that album as much as the other albums, even though it has killer songs on it. Keep the Faith, come on, that's a killer song. Bed of Roses, great song if you're, you know, 50. But Cameraman's like, great songs. But the point is, I didn't like that album that much. Why? Because he cut his hair. How fucking stupid am I to judge music based on shit like that? And so I really want to listen to music, and I want to know as little as possible about, especially musicians that I very, very much appreciate. The more I know, the more the chances are that I find out something that I don't like. And then it's not so much fun to listen to the music anymore. So with Linkin Park, knowing that he killed himself is definitely going to make you listen to the music differently, which I did with the new album, which again, I don't follow the band because I don't want to. So I didn't even know a new album was out. So I got in the car today, bought it. I bought it. No Spotify. I bought it. Click, $10.99, the whole album. It's worth it. And I listened to it in the car 3 times. The only thing I hate about Linkin Park is that their albums are too short. 10 songs, 3 minutes, that's not long enough. Give me more. Okay, but that's really it. And then I listened to the next one, and then I listened to 1,000 Suns. If you've never heard 1,000 Suns, please do it. It's gonna blow your mind. And I had 5 hours in the car of Linkin Park with tears of joy, tears of sadness, listening to this new album, again, with new information. He killed himself. And all of a sudden, everything meant that. Everything meant that it was inevitable. We could already hear it in the lyrics. Listen to it, please. But what am I trying to say? What's my message to you? I have no freaking idea. But for me, that music is pure. And it is, I'm a guitar player. How much guitar can you hear on the last 5 Linkin Park albums? I don't know. It's hidden somewhere. It's mangled. It's behind aggressive synthesizers. But how can someone, apparently, according to this article I read, I didn't write anything. I read, the press and the fans gave them shit. Who the fuck are the fans to tell the band, we don't like what you did and that's why you're crap? Just don't buy the album, wait for the next one. You can't have it both ways. Let us be creative, and either what comes out of us, what the emotions dictate, what the moment dictates, what the current technology dictates, is something you like or you don't like. But there were people throwing buckets on stage. How is that guy supposed to feel? Spend time in the studio, loads of money, loads of time, goes up on stage, presents his work that emotionally very much, listen to the fucking lyrics, meant so much to him. And there's KFC buckets flying on stage and people saying boo. What's wrong with people? You don't have a right to dictate what the people that create creative content for you do. And I get this all the time. Do this, do this, do this, do this. I like suggestions. I like to know what you want to see in terms of review. But don't talk so much. Well, then you're in the wrong video right here. Or do this, or do this. Or just dictating to a creative creator, to a creative content creator, dictating to someone that gives you stuff for free, especially on YouTube. You don't even pay for this. What you want and what he can and cannot do, it's going to end up wrecking the content, wrecking the fun. And maybe the fans wreck the fun for Chester Bennington. And I hate that I can't hear more of these amazingly uplifting songs where there's vocal counterpoint going on with distorted bass drums underneath. As an arranger, I never knew what the next song would bring. And I know my shit when it comes to arranging. And every single rule that I live by, they turned upside down. They showed me how none of what I've learned matters if you have creative people in the room. And I tip my hat to everyone in Linkin Park and to him. And it did make me sad, but I have the albums that are there, and that's really, please listen to 1,000 Suns and tell me that's capitalism or commercialism. It's not. They always did what they wanted to do. If they wanted to make money, they would have done Minutes to Midnight 5 more times. No, they didn't. So, we had half an hour of me talking about Linkin Park. I'm gonna go this way and say goodbye, I guess. I would tell you animals at the end, but probably animals at the end. I'm not gonna upload this tonight, because I probably don't have time to upload this tonight, because I'm at home. I don't know, I mean, it looks almost like I'm at home, I know. I just don't have that many acoustic guitars, so that's why I'm not at home. So, that's another band where we have a lot of preconceptions about what they should and shouldn't do. And all of a sudden there was like a slide guitar in one song and everyone says, let them use a fucking slide guitar. Just don't listen to the song. Come on, don't be stupid. So anyway, just please let the musicians do what the musicians want to do. Otherwise, why would they do it? Just makes me sad. Let us do what we want to do. Imagine someone went into your practice room and told you, you have to do this and this and this and this and this. You know, otherwise you're not going to be successful. You know, be creative, and that's it. Look at all this stuff. I don't even know where I am. I'm not at home. That's why I'm probably not uploading tonight. Are we going this way? Oh, we're going this way. What are we going to say? And that's why I'm not uploading tonight, and that's why I can't put animals at the end. So if I'm going to say animals at the end, that is true. Is that true? Yes. I'm going to look at camera guy and say, what animals would you like at the end?
Sloth.
Sloth. A sloth. I don't have a sloth. How am I going to get a sloth?
Buy one.
Buy a sloth.
Amazon.
Buy a sloth on Amazon. I'm going to close the door. I don't think it's legal to buy them. Also, it would take a long time for it to arrive. Get it? Because, you know, they're slow. Yeah. So, yeah. My car is there, or my stuff is there. Okay, and I guess we gotta go there because I'm getting this. Yeah, okay. I'm buying something. I'm buying a new mic-y thing so that I can talk with two people in front of the camera. So for you guys, again, I spent money. That's a greenhouse. Show the greenhouse. So, if you haven't been a fan of Linkin Park and you bitch about shit, please don't. Just don't be an ass. And listen to it with an open mind. Listen to all music with an open mind. And just know that these people want to bring you something from their heart. I'm out. Animals at the end. Thanks to camera guy with a beard. Bye-bye.
Hey babe, I'm not good looking, and I ain't got no foolish things to say. My face, it shows the scars of life. I got stories to tell. When I lost my job, my